All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Thursday, May 19th, 2022. If you've not done so already and you like the content, please like, comment, subscribe, and etc. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com if you're interested in swing trading alerts and analysis. Anyways, market's kind of pausing here after a 90% down day yesterday. We all remember that bloodbath, and really, market just went kind of down in a straight line. No bounces, very algorithmic, and now kind of pausing here today. So usually after a 90% down day, you get some type of a relief bounce, but it's opex week for one, and it really feels like they're trying to burn out the both sides of that 390 strike. There's a lot of open interest right there, both calls and puts. So there's that. It's opex week, and honestly, this market's just broken right now. There's levels that are getting hit, and we're not getting bounces on them. And it feels like a very environment where there's a lot of forced selling going on. And when you get that, sometimes, the market kind of has to, we talked about this yesterday, there's got to be a washout here because the market's not working the way it normally does and the way it's supposed to. The VIX is down, UVXY down almost 9% here with a flat market. That's classic OPEX games, by the way. You see them, they're pushing Apple down. And a lot of other names are bidding. There's actually, Russell is positive. IGV is positive on my screen. Semis are positive. There's a lot of stocks that are in the green today, but they're using Apple, Bank of America, the XLF, Apple, Bank of America, and Google, it looks like, really to kind of keep the market lower. By the way, you're coming into a major level here on Apple. I'll talk about that in a second. But one thing I find very odd about this price action lately, and we've been touching on this, got to bring up ARK. I've been tweeting about ARK pretty much all day long, half jokingly, but not really. This is a bullish inside bar here. The only problem with it is you're in a downtrend. But when you take a look at the weekly, this is coming after major, you can make a case, this is capitulation. Look at that nice tail. And you went into not only the pre-pandemic highs, the pandemic lows, basically. You challenged this green bar and it passed. So usually when you hit a level like that, oops, there's the intraday. Usually when you hit a level like that and you move up and start flagging, it generally wants to go higher and at least get some type of a reflex bounce, maybe an ABC up. And so what you're seeing right here is we're seeing selling in big tech. And we talked about this quite a bit lately. The big ones are the last to go, right? So ARK, and I just like to use ARK because it's a good gauge for risk, right? So ARK has been selling for basically 2 years. SE, this, I ranted about this stock for a long time. You guys know that. Crocs. Look at the air that's come out of this thing. Unity Software, we talked about this one yesterday, up nicely today. Zoom, up 7% here. But look at how much they've been beaten down, right? But it's always the big ones that are last to go, right? The Apples of the world, the Amazons. So we're seeing the selling. Hey, how about Walmart here? Down again, another 2.5%. 2.5% down is big for Walmart on any day, but when you look at this chart, this is ridiculous. It's getting insane now. Target down, let's look at Costco again. Yeah, Costco negative again. There's probably a good area around here around 390 though, if you want to take that for a long. I do like that at that level there. May get a little bounce at the 100-week moving average. But anyways, you're seeing it's now a big tech's turn, right? It's now big tech's turn to take the beating. And it's like for some of these beaten down plays, it's like, how much more, PayPal finally getting a bid up 5%. How much more can you beat the dead horse, right? So I'm actually seeing at this point, we're seeing short covering coming into play here. GameStop up another 7%. GameStop, these names here, Unity Software, GameStop, ARX, SE, Carvana, these names are coming off the lows here a little bit. And it's like, well, they've had so much selling, so much air has come out of it that it's like, okay, well, now it's basically close to fair value, right? We're getting close to fair value for some of these names. Shopify getting a bid up 8% today. This is with Apple getting punished. Usually when Apple's down 2.5%, everything's getting bloodbathed. Everything's getting just torched, right? So very interesting. Now let's take a look here at Apple. This is a pretty good level you're coming into. 100-week moving average. You've got that previous all-time high right there. So there's a lot of support in this range. Let's actually run a fib on this. Let's take a look. Let's go to the pandemic lows. Yeah, so you're basically into a 382. You know, you get a little bit lower on this and you're into a 382 retrace from the pandemic lows. So I mean, a lot of support in here. Take a look at Amazon. Right into this level here. I told you guys about 2,000 bucks, you know, got close to that. Got a nice bounce last week, and you know, it's being defended at the moment. So there's a lot of levels coming in here. Take a look at Nvidia. You know, this whole zone here, anything sub 160, you know, nice bounce there. You know, there's a ton. Guys, this is a monster base of support here. Okay. So a lot of these things are finally coming into these levels now. And again, you know, it doesn't mean we can't have a washout. We market probably will have a washout, but I think downside at this point is a little bit limited. I think we're probably going to have some type of summer rally, some type of summer relief rally after this washout kind of takes place. You know, but for the meantime, you got to be careful. You know, we just, we had Netflix. We just took like a fractional. We took like 1% gain on this just today. We took Unity, you know, was up again today. We took a gain, got out at about 40 bucks, a little bit above 40 bucks yesterday, because you can't really get greedy in this market. This market can turn on you so quickly. And that's really the nature of it. Now, you know, if there is a washout, yeah, will we probably get above where we are now? Yeah, if we drop down to 375 in the next 2 days or something like that, will we eventually rally back up to 430? Probably. But, you know, you never know. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you're going to get hurt here. All right, anyways, let's flip over here. Let's look at a few sectors and industries. So Dow, basically the same thing, is making new lows. That is off of Target, Walmart, really dragging the Dow down. And that's why I don't like price cap weighted indexes, but Dow getting hit a little bit. Now, here's your positives for the market. It's options X week, so there's a chance that, you know, who knows, maybe they rally us up to 400 on the spiders tomorrow, right? And yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. From a market maker's point of view, that actually makes sense. But here's your other positives, right? Russell 2000's up today. It's still fractionally higher as we sit here, 4 minutes left in the trading day. So Russell 2000's flat with the spiders down 60 basis points and the Russell or the triple Q's down 60 basis points. When the IWM leads, that's usually a good indicator. Triple Q's not down as much as the spiders either. So that is a good sign. Another good sign, semis. Semis were green all day up until just about now, but basically flat. So they're outperforming. We talked about IGV. IGV is green today, up 1.6%. So you're seeing kind of the beaten down areas, the risk on sectors end up green, and that is generally a good sign. Now, this could just be opex games, it could just be nonsense, but you know, good volume there on IGV. So nice little pullback, filled the gap, got a pop. So those are your kind of positives. So yeah, big tech selling off, and that's holding the market down. But if there is a positive, if we are going to squeeze maybe next week or something, this is probably going to be the reason why. So those are your positives right now. The VIX is also coming in sharply. This is typical OPEX stuff though. So I wouldn't make too much out of it, but it did get rejected at 32. So we'll leave it at that. We'll see where it closes out the week. Any close below 28 on the week would actually probably be a little bit of a bullish indicator short term, but we'll see what we get tomorrow. There's no guarantees. If we look at the spiders here, I've been mentioning this to the members here, but we've had this same exact like stair step pattern. So down, bear flag, 1, 2, after a little tail candle, down, tail candle, 1, 2, 3 up, down, doji, and then down, tail candle up, down, doji. So do we flush out tomorrow? It's possible. They could really go either way, honestly. And that's why you've got to be protected in this market. Anyways, so we talked about semis. So semis pushing up here a little bit. They are flat. Let's look at the triple Qs. So I adjusted this trend line. Previously, I had it. So previously, I had it right around here. But it looks like that's just, you know, it's been violated too many times. So we're just going to use the lows. And so we still have kind of a falling wedge potentially, but it could go a little bit lower. Let's look at the weekly. So, you know, maybe you could go down and touch, you know, 280 or something like that. But again, tons of support in this range. We talked about Amazon, Apple, all that. You get the idea. But the triple Q is obviously a little bit weaker, but holding up better than the spider. So again, not the worst sign overall. So IGV, we talked about. Dow Transports. This is a negative, obviously. Got smoked yesterday. And I mean smoked. So lost that 14,000 critical area on 14,000. If it can close back above it tomorrow and have a huge rally, that would be, you know, it would technically be saved here, but not a good look on the transports. And you still have a good level right here. So you probably headed down to 12.9, 13,000, which almost got there really today. Let's see, the low of the day was 13.2. So maybe that goes down there and tests that. But that's a good level there on the transports as well. In fact, let's run a little fib here. See what we got. Yeah, so you're basically into a 382. There's a closing bell there. But if you got down to that area, you got a 50% fib around 12.8, or excuse me, 12.2, 12.3. So there's a lot of support. Again, a lot of things coming into some good levels here. All right, so let's flip over here and talk about rates. So rates coming off the highs again, but you know, they did finish well off the lows on the 10-year. Still got a gap there. TLT did gap up, filled the gap, and then bounced. So, you know, it's still looking like it may have put in a little bit of a bottom. I think that TYX and TNX, both yields, are kind of, you know, they've done technical damage here. So you've kind of broken this big steep uptrend by closing below that 20 moving average multiple times now, or at least once there, and got below it today. But overall, I think the yields are in backing and filling mode here. We'll see what we get moving forward. Let's look at high yield debt, HYG, engulfing reversal there. So there's another positive for the market. JNK, same thing, and LQD, green as well. So, you know, I've been saying this for weeks, but, you know, we still have to see it proven here. But there's positives in the market, but we've got to see the market prove it. Let's see where the spiders closed. Yeah, you know, kind of a doji there. So again, it could really go either way. We could come down and make one more leg lower here, just like we did last time. Or there could be a rug pull. I honestly couldn't tell you. But if the positives, or if we don't rug pull, the positives are the Russell held up, the semis held up, and high yield debt held up. So we'll continue to watch. We'll see what we get tomorrow. Home builders here, fractionally green, so holding up okay. ITB up 0.5%, not the worst look there. VNQ basically flattish, down 42 cents, so not a big deal. XLF, this one did get hit a little bit today, as we talked about earlier with Bank of America down. That one got targeted. JP Morgan got targeted and really pinned to that 118 handle all day long. But, you know, it's still making higher lows potentially, so we'll see what we get next week. Broker dealers, trying to recover here. There is a chance that it could have a little pullback and then up move, but really kind of a weak look there overall with broker dealers. This generally trades positively to HYG. So if HYG can get a bid, then XBD could possibly get a bid as well. All right, let's see. Where do we go to next? Let's go to energy. Crude here, continuing to hold up. Again, potential lower highs here. Nothing too new to say here. Just a really choppy pattern overall. We got to go to the weekly here. Let's see what the weekly close is. If it can hold up into the week, might give it the upside bias here because you'd be inside of this green bar. But really your major area here is this red bar high, 112.93. We'll see what we get going into Friday. XLE did back off of that trend line yesterday, then finished basically flattish. XOP and OIH, same thing, no real difference there. Nat Gas did back off the highs as well. Didn't quite get up to my level here. Still struggling with 850. We'll see what we get tomorrow, but it was relatively flat, all things considered. Dollar index, here's the big one of the day here. So we've been talking about the dollar lately, and when is it going to finally break this 20 moving average? Well, we got it there. So broke kind of through this sort of trend line here, got that daily close below the 20. Now maybe they defend it tomorrow, but look how extended this is on the weekly. If this closes down here on the weekly, you got a big reversal on your hands in the dollar. And I think that could possibly be a good, a positive thing for the market. But again, with how broken and all these correlations are, who really knows what's going to happen. But that probably would be a good thing for gold. And you're seeing gold come off the lows here as well. So gold is responding a little bit to the dollar. And, we'll just leave it at that. I still think this can get up to at least probably about 1860 in the near term. And then if it can continue higher, you got a good chance to get up to 1900. Full disclosure, I do own some call options in GLD on this. We are nicely in the money already. So, and there's the fib right there. So we're looking at possibly up to 174, 175. And then, right in that 382 right there would be about 177, 178 on the GLD, which should coincide with that 1900-ish handle. Anyways, moving on to silver. Nice bid today, pulled back, got above this high. So, it's going to have some trouble with that 20 moving average likely, but it is so oversold that, maybe it gets through that. Your big resistance is going to be at 23 to about 23.50. Silver just getting an oversold bounce here off the lows. This was just a massive sell-off here. Let's look at the weekly. We'll see where it closes out the week. If you can close above this red bar high tomorrow, which would be 22, we'll call it 22.40, you know, that would be a pretty good sign. You could probably rally up to about 24 bucks on that weekly time frame. So we'll see what we get out here, but overall, silver getting an oversold bounce, platinum having a nice day as well, nice little engulfing reversal, and palladium coming off the lows as well. Copper here did get up to that 20 moving average. The 20 moving average is minor, so don't make too much out of it. If this can flag, it can possibly move up into this range here, 200, 100 moving average. But I'm kind of giving it the bias to make a lower high here. So we'll see what we get going into the weekend, but a nice little move there for copper. All right, Bitcoin, let's flip over here. Again, a nice day here, you know, reversed a lot of the losses from yesterday. And if this can get a bid and get above these pivots here, you know, like pretty much say the same thing every single day. You know, if crypto starts bidding, that's going to be good for the equity markets. Ether, same kind of deal, obviously, no real difference there. Litecoin, nice little reversal there today. Polkadot, same thing. But, you know, it's basically just a leveraged NASDAQ, and it's a good leading indicator for now. But again, it's been so muted because of the UST debacle that, you know, it's just been under so much pressure. But if Bitcoin starts bidding all of a sudden, that will probably bode well for equities, as you guys are probably well aware by now. Anyways, let's flip back over here. Yeah, so doji candle here, it's still above the lows. You know, there's a chance, you know, there's still a chance that we could be in this scenario here where we made this kind of test candle, then a higher low, and then a rally. But it really could go either way right now. We're with our trades right here, we're pretty much booked neutral. Probably a little bit net long, but we do have hedges out there, and we did, you know, trim some of our positions today. So really trying to play this very close to the vest. And at this point, the best thing to do is just let the market tell you more. Really let the market show you its hand. Don't try to jump in front of everything and be the hero. Let the institutions do that. Let them be the ones to jump in front of the freight train. Anyways, guys, take care. Thanks for watching. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.